Okay. I'm not sure if this is working. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, Twitch is live. Perfect. So today we're trying something new. Trying to stream on Twitch, YouTube simultaneously. So this might not work, but I am seeing how it pans out. Okay, so YouTube doesn't seem to be live. Good evening, everyone. To start with, nice to see you all. Let's see. Okay, so we are live, but it's not the announced one. Well, still, does seem to be working. Very nice, very nice. Let me set that up so I can see myself. Okay, I can see myself on YouTube, can see myself on Twitch. Should be able to see both chats. Perfect. Well, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you tonight. I do hope the internet connection is going to work out. I have instructed my girlfriend to tell me how it's working, if she can see everything, if everything is working fine. This might, obviously lead to the problem of me not being able to stream with a clean internet connection, because she's streaming me at the same time with the same internet, because she's in the same building as me, but we'll see how it pans out. Okay, perfect. Well, today, so huge announcement, as it says in the title of the stream. I am going to announce that the World Cup 2022 in Qatar has been cancelled. Now, obviously, not actually the case. The World Cup hasn't been cancelled, it's still happening, but we're going to pretend as if it's been cancelled, and we're going to do our best to boycott it. I have decided to boycott it because I think everyone has heard the news. I don't think I need to tell anyone about the situation surrounding the World Cup in Qatar, both how they got the rights to host the World Cup and also the situation that is happening there right now. I think everyone is well aware of that. There's been death of reportedly between, I think, 4,000 and 7,000 slaves in the building of the stadiums. Like, not literal slaves, obviously they're employed there, but it's like slave conditions, like esque conditions. And I'm a huge football fan, but overall, I just have to say, I'm a bigger fan of human rights. So what we're going to do is, every time there's a World Cup match on, and I mean every time that I can possibly spare it, both like, my capacities in terms of time and also willingness, because obviously also I have a certain extent only where my willingness will take me. We're going to stream at the same time in order to kind of give people an alternative in terms of entertainment to make use of whilst the World Cup is going on. And we will look to go through a football manager save, so that people off football come by and have a look at it, hopefully have a good alternative. No promises as to whether that's going to work out all the time or not, but I will definitely do my best. There's going to be like 2 dates already where I know that I can't make it because of uni, because I have university I need to be in attendance, and maybe there's some other dates coming up where I just struggle for time to prepare some things for uni, because also I have to work outside of that. But we shall see. But for today, that shouldn't be the main theme. Also, generally, I'm gonna look to kind of do a bit of a rebranding on the channel. That goes for YouTube rebranding. For Twitch, we even have to do a branding initially, because there's no I don't have a profile picture, I don't have a background, anything. It's all very basic. So we're gonna do a bit of a branding there, themed towards the World Cup and our boycott of it. That should be live until our first stream for the first match on Sunday. Sunday stream is going to be at 4:30, and then we're going to stream again on Monday. It starts at this first game is at 2 p.m. I think. And then we're going to do every day. We try to do the 4 slots. It's 11 a.m. till 1. So we're going to do 2-hour streams, 1 hour break, 2 hour streams, 1 hour break. You can't see me on YouTube. Okay, my girlfriend is putting in the chat that she cannot see me on YouTube. Yeah, Mika, you have to. Cool username, by the way. You have to click on my channel and then use the other link, because the initial link isn't working for me neither. But it is live. It's working. So you can just click on my channel, and then you see like the first video popping up is a current live video of me doing it. I need to figure out how to do that properly so that it shows up with the announcement. You got it. Perfect. Thank you very much for the update. But if you want to go do something else, I've got the nice overview of myself here. You can hear no music. Are you sure? Turn up the volume a bit. Really? Because it's showing me that there should be. Let me turn it up a little bit. Can you hear it now? Yes. Is that a good ratio? Music volume to speaking, or should I turn the music louder? Low still. Wait, let me do it like this. How is it like that? Is it better or is it still too low? Just sitting here awkwardly until I get your feedback. What are you saying? Okay. I mean, it should be better. Tell me what you think. But the main thing is that it doesn't drown out my voice, the music. It's just supposed to be there, like quietly in the background, so that whenever I don't talk, it's not like just awkward silence, just mainly awkward silence. Okay, yeah. So we're going to try to stream on all 4 slots whenever I can, and the 2-hour streams, 1-hour break, 2-hour streams, 1-hour break, so that people who want to watch the World Cup don't fall into the temptation. And what we'll also do, very importantly, is do a fundraiser, try to raise some money for a good cause. The good cause will be going towards, if I find a good charity for it, and we'll have to look for one. I look to have one ready for Sunday. Will be a charity which donates money to the families who lost, the workers who were working on slave conditions in Qatar, building the stadiums and infrastructure for the upcoming World Cup. So that is kind of the plan. Make a fundraiser there, raise some money. I don't know how much money we'll be able to raise. Obviously, I've got like 20 followers. I get a top of like 5 viewers a stream. We might grow a bit. We might stay in that ballpark. I think I'll donate. I think €5 per stream is my idea, but I'll have to do the math on that if I can afford that, to that charity. And I appreciate any little bit you can give me. And if it ends up us spending $100 on that charity at the end of the World Cup, if it ends up being, I don't know, tens of thousands, which I don't believe or expect in any way, either one is a win for me, and I'll feel better for myself. I would love to watch the World Cup from a sporting sense. Obviously, it would be entertaining, but I just think this is like a stage that football has gotten to, which is so clear and problematic that I don't really want to support. So Miguel Felipe is showing up in the YouTube chat now. It is better that the music would be a bit lower. Little. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Keep me updated if that's fine now, if that's too low now. Like a -1. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but thank you very much for the update. Sorry for all the confusion with me parallelly talking to my girlfriend in the chat. But a huge shout out to her for helping me out with this. Better? Good better, or a little bit better, maybe more or less? No, by the way, she's popping up in the YouTube chat if you're looking there, watching the VOD on Twitch, and you can't see her chat anymore. How's the stream going, by the way? Is it smooth? Like the video? Is it all running smoothly? Try one more less. What does that mean? Okay, wait. Like this? I feel like this is just going back to the setup I had before. How do you like the music, by the way? I think it's a good playlist. Oh, and I'm sorry that I sit here like it's the middle of winter. The problem is the heating in my house is working just fine, but the thermometer in it isn't. Thermostat, that's the one. Because it thinks it's got over 30 degrees, whereas it's got about, like, I don't know, 18, I guess, if that. And it won't heat until it's below 30 degrees. Like, you can't set the wanted temperature below 30, over 30. So it's not gonna work. This is good. You like the music? Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. And the picture's running smoothly. I think it's looking good, like, from what I can see. Picture is good, perfect. Okay, I think, without further ado, we're going to go into a bit more detail of what we're doing on Sunday on the stream. I'll have a bit better ideas as to towards the charities and the exact plans, and the rebranding will have happened by then. I'm very excited for it, by the way. It's going to be an exciting times. And again, I'm not making any promises that I'll stream every time, but whenever I do feel like I have the capacities, it's fine. And because everything is very, very clear. Thank you very much, darling. Sorry that I called you darling. I never did that before. Okay, let's get back to Football Manager then. We are on the screen of the Swedish second division North Götaland, because that is the division we played in our first season in this save. And the reason why we're not managing this division anymore is not because we got a better job or because we figured we would get a better job. No, we got sacked because we were relegated with Vandersborg's FK. Just a quick catch up for those who weren't here last time. It was a cracking stream. It was incredible. It went down to the wire. We were 4 games to go, 9 points behind the relegation playoff spot. You can see we ended up 1 point behind it. We played with Vandersborg's FK. We took over with 8 games to go in a very tricky spot, so it was an upper battle from the beginning. I fancied myself to do it. We started terribly. We got like 1 point from our first 4 games, also losing to relegation rival Grebbestad. If we were able to, turn that into a draw, then we would have been able to get that relegation playoff spot, and who knows what would have happened in the relegation playoff. Especially considering our form in the last 4 matches, we won the 3 matches. Going up to the last match of the season, and then the last match of the season, we in the end got battled 5-1 because obviously we tried to chase the game, because otherwise we wouldn't have had a chance of staying in the division if we wouldn't have gotten a draw in there. Ended up losing 5-1. It could have gone very differently. We were rather unlucky in that game, but our opposition were a lot better. I think it was Alafors away from home, finished 4th. As you can see, Leeds Cup is 1, got promoted, and we ended up getting relegated. And because that is like getting relegated out of the playable divisions, we automatically got sacked from the job. So that was very disappointing, but we gave it a good effort. It was, incredibly entertaining to look at the schedule, how it went down. So we joined here after the Ixels game. They played 1-1. Then we had a disappointing start. I was struggling to kind of find the right tactic, which was very bad because the first game against relegation rival Grebbestad was the most important one. We got a leveler in the 49th minute after they got an in the 35th, and then heartbreakingly in the 79th minute we conceded a penalty. After that game, I already said like the survival hopes are basically gone, but we didn't give up even after not managing to get a single win in the next 3 games. Got incredibly credible win against Mjölby, not scoring a single goal in it, but winning by them scoring an own goal. So even when we win, our opposition still score more than us, but then the turnaround. We've played away against second in the league at the time, and champion hopeful Sefler. We beat them 3-1 convincingly as well. We beat Kumla convincingly 2-1 as well. Valongashi was an absolute legend for us. And then, 5-1 win away against Alafors. Gave it a good shot, sadly. It was not to be. I think we shall have a look at the senior squad. Before we go to a job hunt for our next job, we will quickly shortlist the players, which I did quite like, and might, if the opportunity arrives, might move onto another club. So there was Eric Alman, nothing to talk of much. Alex van Bothmer has not played for a single club outside of Vandersborg's in his entire career. So, and he didn't perform well for us, so I have no interest in changing that. Lucas Molander is an incredible talent. He was 16 when we joined. He had some good performances in there as well under us, if you look at his form, especially the last few, like 7.8, 7.2, 7.3. He might have a bit of a future ahead of him, so I think we're gonna add him to shortlist indefinitely. And all the recruitment is done in this series by the people already at the club. We're not like taking over any of those kind of things when we join a club, because we are just a journeyman manager, like a coach, not a manager of a football club, but of a football team. Then we had Peter Mandic, who was a bit disappointing. Our captain, 31 years old defender, so he's not going to go on the shortlist. Felix Randberg isn't either. Galea was terrible in our stint there, 6.56 average rating his last 5 games, even though we won 3 of them. Kasper Larsen, though, was the only player when we were there who ever supported me. So there's no doubt in my mind that he goes on that shortlist. And he's also 17 years old. Not an amazing player. I don't think we'll ever move him on to another team, but we'll see where we land next and how he stacks up against the players there. Albion Vitia definitely gets an honorable mention here. but I don't think he's got the kind of quality that we're looking for. He did have a good like run of form towards the end of the season, but not quite what we're looking for. Similar with Alan Bakiri. Well, I'm thinking about him still. He's got a couple of goals. He was all right, but I don't think he's ever going to be the kind of player we're looking for. Valon Gashi, however, who is abysmal morale now because the team got relegated, and he's not happy to stay on in a lower division, which I can definitely understand. He might already be 30 years old and the highest earner at the club, but with his kind of attributes, and he scored 1 goal a game until up to like the last game since we joined. So we joined in that Greberstads game. He scored here, then I got a suspension for picking up too many yellow cards. Scored on the next one, failed to score against Mjölby. Difficult tie away from home. We lost. No, wait, that was the first one we won, but you know, that's the first game we won, and he didn't score. That's fine if he doesn't score in those. Then he scored 1 against Sefle. He scored a brace against Kumla, putting him back up to 1 goal a game. Failed to score against Alafos, but that's fine. He's definitely going on our short list for maybe signing him in our next club. Ali Hazan is there. Jacob Forster. Those are all like bench players we didn't see much of, so they didn't really get much of a. I know Oscar Ed is someone I am kind of interested in. He was in on loan, and he really made a name for himself towards the end. I'm not sure how achievable he's going to be, or we'll also put him on the short list. So we are jobless. It's the day we got sacked still. If we have a look at our inbox, you can see fresh the message. Bell got sacked by Vandersborg FK just 9 minutes ago. So we are going to get back on the horse, look for a job. And our next job we're looking for is going to be in Denmark. We talked about it in the beginning when we started the series. We wanted to do either Denmark or Sweden, and then like the Swedish season had already started, so there's lots of sackings going on, some more jobs coming up. Now it would be the other way around for Denmark. I'm sure there would also be a job in Sweden we could get, but you know, we already tried that. Let's see if we find something new. Denmark don't seem to be any jobs available for now, but we'll just keep checking back and see if that develops. If it doesn't develop, then we might look somewhere else. Hey Hassan, welcome to the chat. Extreme for Hassan. Nice to see you. Sub. How are you doing? Good to see you around. Let's see. We want to see Denmark, and we're just gonna have a look, because the good thing with Sweden and Denmark is they have quite low divisions. They go down to the 4th tier, so I feel like it's fairly realistic for us starting out as a manager to get jobs there. The 3rd division is like their 4th tier, because the first division is like the 2nd tier, as it often is, which I find highly confusing. Yeah, I got sacked. No, the team got relegated out of the playable leagues. We were in over our heads from the moment we took the job. So yeah, we got sacked in the end automatically by the game. Let's see what these teams are, as any of them. Okay, so the Young Boys Football Development were predicted to finish 3rd, but are sitting bottom of the table, so this might be a job which could come up eventually. Boldkluppen Tarnby predicted to finish 11th, so they're probably not going to be in a rush to sack their manager. He's not really underperforming. Rev A, Enjoy. So we're looking kind of like to join back a relegation battle in this 4th tier of Danish football. They only have like a national division for the 3rd tier of Danish football, because Denmark isn't a big country. So we're kind of hoping to get one of those jobs. If they don't pop up, then we'll look somewhere else. But I think it would be a nice logical next step. We get a good account of ourselves in Sweden, but we want to move on to somewhere where the season might already be ongoing. Maybe the club gets desperate to offer us a job. You know, we got a relegation on our resume, which isn't the best, but we gave a good of account of ourselves there, and I feel like that shouldn't necessarily hurt us in our job hunt. So let's just see how it goes if anything pops up. What is there currently on the job list? I don't know. I'm not going to check everything. As I say, we're going to look for Denmark, and if Denmark there's no good possibilities, then we're going to look elsewhere later. Like, it's September, so there's going to be lots of jobs popping up in the next 2 months all around. All around like Europe, where they have normal league seasons, with Sweden having a summer league season, as there would be lots of opportunities here. But I think we're going to move on from Sweden for now. Maybe we'll come back later. So I'm just going to focus on Denmark for the minute, for the next 1 or 2 months. If nothing there seems to pop up in the 4th tier in a realistic position we could take on, we're going to move on. I'm very good. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. I mean, you can look at Norway and Finland as well. I could, yeah. I think I don't want to really go, even though in terms of sporting quality, it probably wouldn't be a big difference. I don't necessarily want to go to like Finland, for example, because Finland only has 2 divisions available in the vanilla database. And even though, as I say, maybe the second division of Finland is on a sporting level comparable to the Danish fourth division, I'm not too sure. There's also the possibility we could get promoted and then all of a sudden be in a European race, and I feel like it's just a bit too early for that in the series. You know, you got to keep a bit of progression in it. But I might consider Norway. Do Norway have a summer league season or like the normal football calendar? So, what are your immediate thoughts following your second of Venersborg's AF? Nice short question by Raul Navarro, who I didn't have the best of experiences with as manager of Venersborg's. I'm going to say I'm actually quite released in some ways, believe it or not. Sometimes it takes a dramatic act like this to lift a significant weight from your shoulders. No, not really. I enjoyed my time. It's difficult, but that's football. I can't pretend I'm not disappointed to be leaving. Yeah, I'll say that. You know, I don't blame them because obviously they had to sack me. Can you elaborate where you feel so aggrieved? I'm just sad to go. I don't feel aggrieved towards anyone. No, I'm not in a position to do so right now. No, I'm not in a position to do so. You appeared from the outset at least to enjoy a fairly strong relationship with Venersburg FK boats, so this has come something of a surprise to many. There are absolutely no problems between Venersburg's FK and myself. This is strictly business. Exactly. That's fair. You're going for realistic way into it. Yeah, exactly. You know, like obviously you can't be realistic because it wouldn't be realistic to any football club hire me as a manager. I have no references whatsoever. The last time I played football 11 aside, like regularly, was when I was at like 12 years old, and coaching wise, I have no experience. But I feel like I want to start at the lowest level that the game gives us the opportunity to, and it's also just a bit of fun to mess around with the really, really bad players to begin with. I had a great time in Sweden. Really a fantastic time. So, are you also playing Football Manager currently, or are you just joining the stream? I wanted to have a look at Norway. Forgot. Just chilling mostly. Yeah, I get that. Like I had a long time where I was just watching Football Manager streams before I even ever started playing Football Manager. I got into Zealand when there was like Football Manager 19 or 20 in COVID times. I watched lots of it. At the first time I played, it was like a year later. So the first time I played Football Manager is actually just a couple of years ago. What are some steps back from interim manager role? Okay, that's fine. So no, not shortlist. Job center. Okay, no jobs available in Denmark. Let's see what Norway is saying. Region Premier Division. Okay, that's actually like the first tier of the region football, so we're not interested in that. But they do also have like a summer league, so their league season is ending. So there might be jobs coming up, but I like joining in the middle of the season, trying to save a team from relegation or something. You don't even have them. You used to play Football Manager 15 long time ago. No, that is long. It was years before I got into it. But a lot has changed since then. No, yeah, so I've been playing it a lot, and the problem with Football Manager is that it's such a time sink, and you just get stuck in it that you can play it for like, I don't know, 10 hours straight, and you don't realize that even 2 hours have passed. So eventually I realized that that it has a bit of a problem, and there's a bit of too much time going into it from my side. So what I did is I decided to start streaming to play less, because when you have to talk about it, it's a bit more exhausting. You realize the time passing a bit more. And the cool thing about it is, when you just click through and you get stuck in it a little bit, so you don't enjoy it as much. And when you talk about it, when you stream it, you immerse yourself a lot more into the story that's going on. You think a lot more about the things that are happening, and you don't just do them because it's the right thing to do anyways. So I'm really enjoying streaming lately. I started back up again. I did a little bit with FIFA a couple of years ago. I started back up again like 8-9 months ago. and I'm really happy with it. You know, absurdly, I have a lot more resources for the rest of my life now than I did before. So, yeah, if you ever want to get back into Football Manager but are scared that it's going to be a time sink, I recommend it. Okay, we've got shop openings in Belarus, a couple of them. Interesting. Slovakia, Bulgaria. We're not interested in any of that. Let's see, no, nothing going on here. Check back the Danish 4th division in a second. See if anything popped up there. So today might be a bit of a slower stream, but we're going to make sure that we find a job before. Odd is now available. Wait, is that the one that was available anyways? And a relegation zone. How many games are to go? 7 games to go. I mean, that would be a fun challenge. I don't think they'd have me though at this stage. Yeah, we're gonna make sure that we find a job at the end of it, and then we can start properly on Sunday when we do like our World Cup boycott streams whilst the World Cup match is going on. It's like Civ 6 in a way. You could play it for hours and the time just passes by. Exactly. It's like the world outside just stops existing. It's the best game there is, in my opinion. It's incredible, but a real risk. Okay, so we're into October. I don't mind waiting until the season is properly popped into life, but I don't necessarily want to wait for ages until getting back into work. We can also see at job security what's going on in Denmark. Actually, I think that would be a good idea. Nations. Where is Denmark? Denmark. Let's also click Norway. Gonna filter out the divisions though. So it's 3rd division. And where on earth is Norway? I have no idea what the lower divisions of Norway are called. What was the 1st division called? No. I don't know. We'll have a look at it in a second. So far, everyone is stable. Even at AB Tornby. Wait, that's not the club we're looking at. No, even at the Young Boys FD, Thomas Loft is stable, even though he's doing terribly and he was predicted to finish 3rd. Let's see what the season preview says here, if that agrees with that. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a lot higher up than they are. But I mean, it's early into the season, so maybe they're hanging on to him for a little bit. We'll see how that situation develops. So, Job Center, Norwegian Premier Division, Norwegian 1st Division, Norwegian 2nd Division, Norwegian 3rd Division. So it's literally called Norwegian 3rd Division. Why can't I find it then? Can't be hard to find if it's called like that. You know, we're primarily interested in the Danish jobs anyways. We'll just keep a look in the job center if any Norwegian interesting ones pop up. But yeah, if like that position stays secure for all the time, and waiting for it, that's not really a point to, because they just like their manager for some reason, or they didn't expect to finish that high in the table anyways. Then we're not gonna wait for it that long. But you know, this time I'd like to get into the job at least before January, so that we have a transfer window to go before it, because we felt that very hard in our Swedish job. They didn't have a single left back at the club, and I tried playing without left back. It doesn't really work. You know, neither left back nor left wing back. There's just a huge goal hole there. So if the opposing team is playing with an advanced right winger, they're always going to have someone to pass into space. So I would very much like to have a transfer window, even though we're not going to do our own transfers. We're going to let the club do that, because I feel like it's more realistic, especially if we're just staying for a limited amount of time. Um, we're gonna see how that goes. Okay, the Austrian Football Informer is interested. What do you think about our first job ending in a sacking, as our media handling has boasts a 100% attendance record? Fantastic. This is the first time in your career you've been sacked. How are you handling things? It's the first time I had a job, so I'm not dealing well. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not a nice moment when it happens, but I always back myself as a manager and I'm looking forward to the next challenge. Exactly, always looking ahead. Are you open to dropping down the league to take a job if it comes to it? I can't really, you know. I'm pretty much as far down as I can. I'm not sure I would. It's important to keep climbing the ladder after all, even though we did get sacked. Sometimes people fail upwards, you know. It's how it goes. Oh, insecurity in the fourth division of Danish football is Svendborg FB Ure, who sits in 11th. What actually, how does it, interesting that is there. That's cool. Season no stages. How does it work? Rules. Okay, so relegated to Denmark series. That's the relegation stage. Okay, so everyone plays each other twice, I guess. And then you go into the relegation playoff, and the bottom three teams are relegated. Wow. Okay, tense. Just say that I'm depressed that I'm out of a job for this long. Was that a possibility to answer with? Yeah, I mean, it is frustrating times. Like I've earned about, I think I had a weekly wage of 450, which was kind of mad for that Swedish job. We stayed in a hotel, just chilling in Vänersborg. I don't even know where it is in Sweden, to be honest, but it's North Götaland, so I think that's just south of Stockholm, if my Swedish geography is correct. Don't think so, it would be funny. It would be, yeah. So we gathered about 450 a week. We stayed there for like 8 weeks. What would that be? Full time is like 3,500 euros. We paid a bit for the hotel. You know, say that cheap hostel, because I mean, yeah, we didn't have that much money. We didn't know how long it was going to last. So let's say we saved up about 1,500 euros. I don't know if it would have even made it this far. Okay, some sackings in the top division of Belgium. That doesn't really help us. But thanks for the information. Yeah, but you know, like give us a time frame of like 15, 20 games, one transfer window, so that we can at least ask the boards to, you know, sign players in these positions, so that we have a full team, and try to climb back out of the division. And Graham Potter came from the 4th division of Sweden, and he's a great manager. Did he start in the 4th division in Sweden? He was where was he at? Östersund, right? Let's have a quick look at Graham Potter. I could think that Football Manager is such a good database. Not Garham. Graham Potter. No, I mean, if we had this series of Chelsea manager, then it's changed. So he managed at Östersund. I thought Östersund were like a fairly established team in the 1st division of Sweden. Oh my god! That man's a genius. So they got relegated from the 3rd tier, which they were in for quite some years, and then he joined them, and they immediately like won it and got promoted. Won the next one, got promoted. Spent 2 seasons in the 2nd tier of Swedish football, 10th and 5th, and got 2nd in 2015. Got promoted because I remember him playing in the Europa League. I remember that's the first time I like noticed him, and he's like this managing like a sensation. But I thought it was just because he done well in the Europa League with a semi-decent Swedish team. I didn't realize that they came from the Dats. Wow. So he must have, like 2017-18 must have been a Europa League season after they finished 5th. Oh my god, they've been relegated. They've been relegated in real life last season, and they're sitting 8th in the 2nd tier. Oh, great! Graham Potter was that club then. Interesting. I didn't know that. He managed Swansea before Brighton. I didn't know that either. 2018-19, where did they finish then? 10th in the championship. Okay, that's not that big an achievement. I remember Brighton hiring him. It was like this huge, like brave step to take from Brighton, and it was fair enough. Oh, he's got one under 21 cap. Good for him. Graham Potter was their peak. Definitely, yeah. And nothing without him by the looks of it. No, fair play to him. He's definitely a fantastic manager, but you never know still with these kind of people whether it's going to work at the next level. And I always feel like so cheap in saying that because it's that kind of, I don't know, it's the kind of thing that like football pundits who played in football say like, oh, does he have the character? Because he's clearly a smart, intelligent manager. But you saw with the Ronaldo interview and his like statements about Rangnick, who clearly is a good manager and he's got some pedigree with his time in Germany. As a lot of teams have now insecure managers. Holstebro, like the bottom 3 teams all have insecure managers. Fantastic. We'll see how that pans out. Where was it? Yeah, you never know how it's going to work out if they're like if they're going to get that respect, because Rangnick clearly didn't get the respect by Ronaldo, who stated in an interview with Piers Morgan that he clearly wasn't even a manager for Rangnick, and that's just not fair. And obviously I'm defending him because he's now Austrian national team manager and I'm Austrian, and we're doing not terribly under him. We're not doing well, but not terribly, and that's something. When you've been in Austria like football observer for this long, that definitely is something. As we have another weekend of football, and we'll see how the job situation is after that. I'm really glad, by the way, this worked out so smoothly. This is the first time that I'm streaming both on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, because we're going to try and do that for our World Cup boycott streams. If you didn't know, I'm going to try and stream every World Cup match to kind of give people who want to boycott it, like me, the opportunity to have some other form of entertainment and they don't get into temptation of watching as happens. So Mr. Dallum is untouchable now. I know that Kevin Nielsen at Dallum is untouchable. That's very good. Where were they predicted to finish out of interest? 12th, and they're sitting second. Even though they were predicted to finish bottom. That's fantastic, right? So it's still the bottom 3 teams which are insecure, but Young Boys FD must have won their game, because that takes them into 11th, and SFB Ure dropped down into 12th. But none of the teams are really far adrift, so the size of the challenge isn't that huge, to be honest. I'm a United fan. Oh, that's interesting, Hussein. And I respect Ronaldo, but he can't be saying that Rangnick wasn't a coach and slander Erik ten Hag. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand that Rangnick isn't the kind of caliber of coach that Ronaldo expects to see at Manchester United, and that's a fair assessment if you ask me. Actually, it was a weird appointment, but you still have a job to do and like respect your manager, and that is just not the kind of thing you should ever see from a professional footballer, especially one at this level. Those are the things I don't like, that he threw Erik ten Hag under the bus too. Yeah, definitely, because Erik ten Hag has been doing a great job at United, hasn't he? Especially considering how they started. Like the first 2 games of the season, everyone kind of writing them off and saying that, Manchester United are threatened by relegation. And all of a sudden turning it around, that win against... Who's that win against? Was it Arsenal? Yeah, Arsenal. Arsenal were flying high. It was the culmination of that. Okay, there's nothing major seems to be changing in the job market so far. United backstop Rangnick. It was supposed to be our sporting director, but United said, "You're done here," and jumped ship. That is true. However, I understand, considering like the media, the bad media he got following his managerial tenure, and I think it was also linked. See, Rangnick always wanted to become national team manager. He always obviously wanted to be that for Germany, but Germany weren't going to hire him anytime soon because he doesn't quite have the pedigree, and the way the DFB works, Rangnick apparently isn't that kind of guy, like the Football Association in Germany they would hire. So I feel like taking the Austria job and doing very well there is kind of like, first of all, he is a national team manager, which is something he's been interested in anyways, because he's a bit of a project manager, and I feel like he thinks that might be his way long term towards a bigger national team job, ideally Germany. But that's just my theory. I have a friend who used to work, like whose dad used to work at Red Bull Salzburg, and he also got a couple of offers from there. And also was very closely connected with the club. As Young Boys manager is very insecure. No, that is what we like to see. Is he like 66? Rangnick? I have no clue how old he is, to be honest. Let's look him up. And your owners are a joke. Yeah, the Glaciers are a joke. I mean, they're in it for the money. And you kind of can't fault them for that. But you should never let that happen to a football team. Like, I don't know who owned it before, but they kind of need to make sure they sell it to someone who isn't. And I understand there's so much money involved in it. They got a good offer back then, but that's just not what you want to see. Yeah, 64. You're right. Doesn't look like he's got much of a career ahead of him. I thought he'd be younger, but that's okay. He can take Austria to glory and then retire. It's fine by me. He doesn't have a lot of time to get a bigger national team job. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's guys who manage until late into their 70s, 80s. How old is Louis van Gaal these days? He's still managing at the top level. Louis van Gaal, okay, he's 71. I thought he's older. Or Mr. Neil Warnock was very old, wasn't he? Roy Hodgson. I mean, Joe Biden is 82 and he's still US president. Now, we're not going to go into a deep politics debate, but just shows you that age is but a number. Some people still fit enough. And I think Ralph Rangnick strikes me as the guy who's too driven and competitive to stop anytime soon. Now, you could say the same about Ronaldo, and it is a bit of his downfall as well. But overall, it's not the worst attribute to have. Do you have any regrets regarding your time at Vandersporks FK? No regrets. I have liked to go differently, but I can't control fate. Yeah, really. We had to try some things in the beginning. I wasn't too happy with what we did in the beginning. So obviously we could have done better, but you have to figure it out in the first place. What if anything have you learned from the experience? I'm going to take some time to properly understand why things went wrong and then plan for the future. If I'm honest, I can't think of anything notable. I'd be happy just moving on and not thinking about the way things ended up. No. I learn something every day of my life, and that's especially true in management. I'll take the positives and the negatives and use them both to become better at my job. And Adolf Hintrinker is happy with that. I hope someone buys it. I hope it too. Like, honestly, I have no close affinity with Manchester United. I only got into club football at like the end of the Alex Ferguson reign, 2013, and I feel like everyone around me who's got into it earlier is a United fan, which is understandable because they were like this phenomenon really back in the day. And yeah, it's really sad to see this kind of club, this huge club, because it's arguably the biggest club in the world. Now, obviously, Real Madrid, Barcelona, the likes will have something to say about that. But in terms of global support, the money they make, and whatever you want to measure it on, it is one of the biggest clubs in the world, based on the last 30 years, let's say. And it's just really sad to see that kind of stuff happen. And I'm kind of a sucker for greatness a little bit in that sense too, that it would just be great to see like the biggest team competing against each other week in, week out. If I was a big United fan, I only started watching them closely in Van Gaal's second season. Okay, so you got the influence from your dad. Okay, a lot of managers hired and sacked now. Oh, no, I didn't want to continue. I wanted to check the job market first. What is going on in Denmark? Okay, fair. We're doing Van Gaal's second season. When was that? Like 2015, 16? Like there was 1 year of David Moyes, wasn't there? Then there was 2 years of Van Gaal. Am I getting that right? Was then was Mourinho? I'm not too sure. Okay, situation unchanged in Swedish football, in Danish football. Let's see, Man United. We're even gonna find it this way. So we'll have to put in Man UTD. Mandel United, that's not what we're looking for, because they don't have the rights for United, do they? They always Man UFC, that's the one. So can we have a look at managers? Okay, it doesn't show. Well, I think it was something like that. 2015-16 season. Is that? I love that. One thing I remember, and this was when I was starting getting in the Premier League, is when he showed to the. There's an iconic scene when he showed to the referee the way his opponent, I don't know against who they played, simulated when he got hit and felt like theatrically. What a guy, Louis van Gaal. I really I'm not gonna follow the World Cup, and there's one caveat to this, by the way. I will watch the World Cup final if it is Argentina against Portugal and Messi and Ronaldo are both fit and playing, because that would be the pinnacle of football of my generation. and I would obviously not miss that for the world. Even though, I kind of hope that it doesn't happen, that I will not feel like I have to watch it. But that is like my one exception when I would turn into the World Cup, if that is the final, Argentina against Portugal, with Messi and Ronaldo facing off. But yeah, I kind of hope that Louis van Gaal's Netherlands. I always kind of liked the Netherlands and wanted them to do well because I feel like they always got so unlucky. They didn't win a single one, did they? They lost twice in the final, from what I can remember. As the North Zealand job is coming up, I don't think we'll be able to get that. Apart from the bad things around the World Cup, I will watch it. And that's fine. I don't blame anyone doing that. Like, really. Because it's not your fault or anyone's individual's fault. I mean, some individuals, but like fans of the World Cup, that this has happened and that this is the surrounding circumstances. I blame neither the players nor the coaches, nor any like individual you see on screen normally. That this World Cup has happened. So I don't blame anyone for watching it. I don't blame anyone for playing in it. I, for one, will not, and thus I will also be trying to provide entertainment for other people who feel similar to me. Apart from the bad things around the World Cup, watch it. Can't wait for the first game to get that World Cup feel. Yeah, like in the beginning, when you first hear it, I thought a World Cup in the winter doesn't have that right vibe. You can't play in the backyard and in between games. You can't, or like outside. You can't go like public viewing. It's just a lot worse of an experience in most parts of like the Northern Hemisphere. But on the one hand, I find it kind of fair that the World Cup is happening in the Southern Hemisphere for once, because like in summertime of the Southern Hemisphere for once, because these people normally have the bad weather, like let's say Australia, although Australia is good weather all year round. Let's say, I don't know, South Chile and South Argentina, for example. So in that sense, it's kind of fast. There's a new Insecure job in Näsby, so in 8th. Where were they predicted to finish? 6th. Okay, I mean that's surprising that he's Insecure, to be honest. But like me too, I've been kind of getting like the feeling of I'd like to watch it, like a like national team tournament would be really cool right now. As Jürgen Klinsmann is apparently in the running to take over Nisi Nijmegen, so it hasn't worked out too well for him since leaving Hertha Berlin. And yeah, like in Christmas, like you get that Christmas spirit. You sit down in front of the TV with a bit of, I don't know, mulled wine or whatever, cuddle up in a blanket and then watch a couple of football games. I think it's not too bad, to be honest. So I don't have any issues with it happening in the winter. I feel like that's fair enough, and I feel like at some point that had to happen. And obviously it's smart that they're doing it in the winter, considering the heat it gets in summertime in Qatar. It gets like over 50 degrees in the shade, doesn't it? So they had to move to the winter. Well, that's the problem. The thing I have the problem with the least. As I find, to a certain extent, I find it even a good thing that for once it's turned around and it's not like favorable to the Northern Hemisphere every time. But yeah, as I say, I will be boycotting the tournament. I will try to stream every time there's a match on. We'll try to do a fundraiser. I think I'll spend like €5 on a fundraiser for every time we stream. I'll have to do the maths on that because that could get very expensive for me, but I think I should be able to afford that, and will then kind of put that money towards a charity which helps people suffering from like the exploitation of workers in the World Cup. But again, to anyone watching, don't let that ruin your mood for the World Cup. And if you ever want to drop into the stream between games or when there's a game on that you don't necessarily want to watch, you're always invited. I don't judge anyone. I don't like feel superior to anyone by boycotting it. I personally don't want to watch it, and I want to give other people who might feel similar a bit of a possibility to also kind of actively support that position. Because I thought I was just gonna boycott it and not watch, and like who would care? They wouldn't make any less money and not buy any products of the sponsors, and no one would really give a damn about one individual Austrian guy not watching the World Cup. So I figured if I stream it, maybe a couple of people will tune in, maybe we'll waste a bit of money. At least we're doing something about it. But again, no complaints at anyone who does it. You know, we've all got things going on in our life, and if football is like the way to relax, to chill down, and kind of enjoy a bit of relaxed time, not think about, you know, all the goings on in the world sometimes. I wish all these people all the power and fun in the world, enjoying the tournament. So nothing quite has opened up yet in Denmark, but the movements are still there. The young boys job would be very interesting because they're predicted to finish third, so we could, like, you know, save them from relegation this season and then hopefully next season kick on a bit. But it might be a bit too easy, the relegation fight. I do like myself a challenge and to struggle, even though in the moment I always feel like, why do I do that to myself? But, you know, obviously we could also take over SFB Ure FA, which were predicted to finish 8th, but have lost the last 5 games in a row. Let's have a quick look at what the table is saying in the 3rd division. Again, no team is really like down and out. Ure are a bit farther behind, 2 points behind 11th, 3 points behind 10th, and 4 points behind that like safety zone. We'll just see what opens up, what job gets available, and I think I'll take anyone of them. If, you know, they offer it to me, there's no guarantee for that, obviously. There's going to be other people in for it. I don't know if it's going to be so easy, because in Sweden we got like the job offer of basically 80% of the clubs we interviewed for. Because they were also desperate, and, you know, the Swedish 4th tier split into, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 different sections. The Danish 4th tier is just like one national league, so maybe there's a bit more competition for those places. But we're just gonna have to try it out. Ooh, big message coming in. I hope it will be a good tournament like in 2018, but I know the dark cloud that surrounds this World Cup with the migrant workers and how many have died to build the stadiums. I'll just try to put that aside when the matches start and pray for those who died in those horrible conditions as well. Anyway, more power to you. Again, like, just enjoy the matches. If you do watch the World Cup, forget about all that, because you can't help that. The best thing you can do is just enjoy that. I don't want to say that's what they died for, because that's why I'm not watching the World Cup, but really, there's no point in getting yourself down over that. I think, you know, it's not your responsibility to fix this, and it's not my responsibility to fix this, and that's fully fine. But that's a good, you know, good sentiment towards that. I like that. And honestly, you know, if I'm being fully transparent, obviously also all the money that I raise in this time is going to go to charity. But obviously, I also hope to kind of raise, like to grow my channel through this stuff a little bit. You know, there's also a bit of egotistic attribute about it. Obviously, that's not the main reason I'm doing it. As I said, I would have wanted to do that anyways. As the Young Boys FD job has come available, and obviously we're going to apply for that. A few job adverts. Wage per £3,500 a week. Okay, this is a huge step up to where we were before. Do not sign players over the age of 28. Okay, we will apply for the job. We will see how that pans out. Job application received. I'm not going to declare interest for the job because we don't have a high reputation, and it only makes sense, I think, when you have a high reputation. Kind of like the fans hear it, and they put some pressure on the board. We want this guy, and I think our interest would just be laughed away, and it would actually hurt our chance of getting the job. So that's fantastic. That would be the best job of them to get, because obviously they are one of the better teams in the league normally. They're just having a bad run to begin the season. So obviously I would love getting that one. Again, the relegation fight would hopefully not be that entertaining as last time out, because we should be doing better than they are doing currently and have enough time to fix it. But first of all, we need to see if they even offer us a job interview, and then if they offer us the job. It's a long way to go still. I might have been a bit optimistic going into this after the experience in Sweden, where basically everyone wanted us. Everyone wants to hire us, even though we've got no pedigree. I think a little bit we've grown our profile a little bit, even though our reputation hasn't grown with our time in Sweden. But when we have a look, so we still got that 5% reputation, but the media handling is like at 68%. Clubs like seeing that. Got a bit of tactical consistency. I don't know how much difference that makes. We're known for being a strict disciplinarian. That's good in a relegation battle, I think. We've got a lot of languages now. You know, we were fluent in German, English, French. Italian, I'm not really fluent in. I put it in the game because I speak a little bit of Italian, because my girlfriend's Italian. But you can't put, like, how good you are at the language. You can just either put you know it fluently or you don't know it at all. So just put it. We speak basic Swedish as well. And our attributes have also improved a bit. I don't think they look out for that, but okay. And our scouting knowledge of Sweden is apparently outstanding, which I would argue is not a fair assessment, because we've been there like 8 weeks and then we left. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, Paderborn shop comes available. I love Paderborn. My first FIFA career mode I did a long time ago. As a big I have won a game, so that makes that shop coming up a bit less likely. But it puts young boys back down into the 12th position. They already played their game. No, they've got a game in hand, so they could jump up to 10th. But again, you know, please go ahead and lose that. The more desperate they are, the better for us. Does Daniel Alves merit Brazil place? That's a different Daniel Alves, isn't it? Is it still the same guy? Denmark is a great country, yeah. Another one, like a bit of a dark horse for the World Cup, aren't they? And you know, I think everyone would wish it upon them, all the success they can get, following what happened in the Euros with Christian Eriksen and the run they went on still after that. As they must have played their game and they're still in 12 from what I've seen there. Hopefully we get a job interview there. This would be a great job. Yeah, they lost their game, so they still have a game in hand. And that game in hand is against 8. So it could go either way, that one. Is it just me or is the music gone? It's just so quiet. Oh no, I just turned my headphones down because the last song was so loud. By the way, I did see there was another job that came up in a high division in Sweden. But I think I'm not going for that yet. That's a bit unrealistic. What is that? The second tier? Yeah, that's the second tier. That would be highly unrealistic. I don't think they would have us. We'll see. Yeah, I've never managed in Denmark before. You know, as I say, I haven't played that much Football Manager. Mostly managed in my home country of Austria. But yeah, Denmark I have never touched. Sweden I once did as well in a private. As they've now played their game, they got a draw and are sitting in 11th. In a private like Journeyman save, because again I want to start in a similar vein as to what we're doing here. Denmark I have never touched. Okay, we are still applied. It's been like a week now, I think, but we haven't heard back from them yet. Should we see where can we see like the odds as to who's gonna get the job? Is that news? Okay, so Nikolai Val is a director of football in Ringkøbing. Ringkøbing used to be manager there, which are like in the lower league. So you know, if he wants it, sure that would be a good shout. Got a good reputation as well. Flint Bjerg. Wanted by Odd. Okay. So maybe he's a bit higher than that. So none of them are wanted by young boys. No, Klaus Christiansen is. Okay, he also used to be manager at Ringkøbing most recently. He used to be manager here as well a couple of years back. So he might be the kind of guy they'd like to go back to. He doesn't have the biggest reputation, similar to us, but you never know. We're not even on that, but we'll see. Maybe we can convince them if they invite us to an interview. Hopefully they do. no movements on the job market yet. Nothing going on in Norway either, what we can tell. No interesting sackings for us there. Maybe Norway would actually be a little more realistic destination because they have like the split pyramid, so there's like more different leagues in the 4th tier. But I feel like Denmark wouldn't be incredibly unrealistic because we did well in our Swedish club. Like if the people have a closer look at what we did there, it's gonna say just getting relegated, but we took them over from at bottom of the table with 8 games to go, with a mountain to climb, and we didn't manage to climb that mountain, but we got incredibly close. Gave a good account of ourselves. I don't know how closely people like really look, like the hiring mechanism in Football Manager really looks into that, or if they just see like you got relegated, that's a negative thing on your pedigree. Don't really know. But I feel like, if we just started looking for these jobs, that we would have done worse than had we had those 8 weeks in Sweden. But we are now, the 1,500 euros we had saved up, we're quickly running out of those. So hopefully we're going to get a job offer quick so we can afford a place to stay, a bit of food, get out of the homeless shelter we're probably living in at this stage. Somewhere in Scandinavia, I guess. Somewhere in North Götaland. No idea how we're gonna afford the plane to go to the job interview, as there's now 5 other clubs in the division who are said to be insecure. Holstebro is probably gonna be like the predicted finish 10th. They just have a 1-star reputation. Would probably be one of those, which is fairly likely to take a similar with AB Tornby. It's Young Boys 1 and now it's sitting in 9th. Which makes them a more attractive position, obviously, to better managers, so maybe they will look elsewhere. We haven't heard back from them yet. Still set has applied. I don't know if you get information that someone else has been in on the management shop. Yeah, suddenly 5 jobs are insecure. Yeah, my season is moving. Teams aren't happy with the performances, so like now I'm confident we're going to find something in Denmark, and I'm pretty set on that now. But that is a lot. Like the entire bottom half of the table, insecure. 6th is stable. Everything above that is at least secure. Some very secure. Fantastic. By this point, you're living under some cardboard boxes. Exactly. And it's November. My God, it's gonna get cold soon in Scandinavia here. This might end badly. As another job shows up in the Norwegian top tier. Is Odd still in the relegation zone, by the way? Odd saved themselves. Sarpsborg is about to go into relegation playoff looking for a manager. Are you mad? Why would you sack your manager ahead of that? That's insane. Money has gone dry by this point. Oh, definitely. I'm just going into the homeless shelter for food and then going back to my back to my cardboard boxes. In the daytime, hanging out with my fellow homeless people, doing some heroin like they are. I'm just making sure that they don't die doing it because I've got my life under control. I know that a job is just waiting for me. Just around the corner. Sure of it. I don't think they're going to offer us an interview. I think I might be in over my own head, having applied for this kind of club. Hopefully one of these two is going to come up. I feel like we have a better chance of getting one of these two. But yeah, I feel like that's another error in the terms of hiring and firing of managers in Football Manager. That probably that manager at the team which is now in the relegation playoff in Norway, he probably underperformed his season expectations. So the season ended and they automatically sacked him. However, they still have their relegation playoff match, which obviously you'd leave your manager in charge, but you wouldn't just throw anybody in. Obviously, you're hoping for a new manager bounce, but it might well just go tits up and terribly. or maybe something they should look into. Because like, I think they automatically sack you if you underperform too much and the season ends, but their season hasn't actually ended. Which kind of makes me wonder, would we have even kept our job in Sweden had we finished the job as Austria win 3-1 against Iran? Fantastic. Had we finished in that like relegation playoff spot, because we were supposed to avoid relegation, maybe we would have been sacked as well, and someone else would have gotten to take charge for that relegation playoff. And still no sign of a job interview, and the nights are getting colder. Bayerlotz to Augsburg. He hasn't been in management for a while. That's good to see. Nothing moving in the Danish league in terms of jobs opening up. I think that they're all insecure. No one's very insecure, are they? Yeah, all insecure. So we need to remain patient for now. I wouldn't mind if someone just gets absolutely dragged to the bottom of the league into like a difficult position where no one really wants to take charge of, which is the only manager who's really interested in it. You know, maybe Hostebro, but I think the league is still looking pretty competitive. Yeah, they're losing sight of the better positions slowly. But I thought they were hiring. Wasn't it them that were hiring Klinsmann? Or was that just like a rumor? We're still applied. No signs back. I feel like at this stage they should be advanced in their search for a new manager. It's been 3 weeks. You know, I don't mind. We can just come in for a job interview and like, you know, one warm meal, you know, in the canteen. That would be good. A warm meal in a proper canteen. We haven't had that in a while. Are you open to working abroad again? Yes, of course. Certainly, it's proven to be real positive in my career, and I'd consider it to be an honor to be asked to do it again. How are you adjusting to unemployment following your departure from Johannesburg? Okay, it's not going good, thank you very much. I'm surprised that I've been able to even charge my phone to have this conversation with you, Adolf Hintringer from the Austrian Football Informer. I'm desperate to get back into the game as soon as possible. It's what I do, and anything else is simply a waste of time for me. I like that. I don't really like it. It feels very uncomfortable, and I don't really know what to do with myself. That's very much your "I'm depressed at this stage" kind of answer. I'm gonna say I'm desperate to get back into the game. Maybe I don't know if desperation is the best approach to make myself attractive to potential employers, or we might as well try. Okay, there's another weekend of football is going to go by here. Maybe that changes things on the job market. Maybe we'll finally get an interview. I think they're just going to ignore us until they hire someone else. Or maybe they're happy with the interim manager. He's done pretty well. He's won a couple of games recently. So they're just not that desperate to find a new guy. That could also be a thing. A lot of managers in the inbox. I'm gonna have a look at all of those, just see what the job center is saying. No new jobs available. So I'm considering to be insecure. The two teams at the bottom getting further and further away from the safe zone, I guess. Young boys won a couple of games now, so really maybe they are happy with Mr. Henrik Brodersen, who's their central midfielder and caretaker manager in charge. Interesting. Come on, just a job interview, just a warm meal in the canteen, and then I'll go back to my boxes. I don't know how I'm going to afford to get there. Probably going to need to take a plane unless it's in North Gotland. But I'm not applying for jobs in North Gotland, so... You can increase your popularity of your club sport if you deny the links with another club. Yeah, well, but I need to be in a job first. Thank you very much. I'm really gutted that Vanasbooks didn't work out. Like another couple of seasons there would have been really fun. I was really getting to like the team, and I thought we can turn this around, even though it looked for all the world that we're doomed. But we didn't quite manage to do it, and we're just gonna have to face the reality of that. It's a very competitive league, though. No one's really lagging behind in the fourth tier of Danish football so far. Which is kind of nice. Looks like it's going to be an exciting relegation race. Should we get into it? The question is, how much longer is the season going to go on for? Because Denmark is quite far north. I don't think the winters are that cold because it's close to the sea. But we can see because if the league doesn't go on for much longer, then we might want to look elsewhere as well, because then there's probably not going to be much movement on the job market. No interest in offering us an interview, however. Another job in the top tier of Norwegian football is coming up. How did Sarpsborg do in their relegation playoff? Okay, they lost their away tie 1-2 and they won 3-0 then. Who managed? Erland Johnson, caretaker manager, who was before the head of youth development club. Maybe that'll give him the full-time job, who knows? If he's interested in that. So we're still applied for it, but should I declare interest just to see if they do something? Not at this stage. They're probably not desperate to find a new manager now, considering how well they're doing under their central midfielder caretaker manager, having won the last two. I mean, he gets the team, doesn't he? He's gonna do what the team want him to do. And sometimes if a team is underperforming, as they are, that's exactly what you need. I forgot to look how much longer they're playing in the fourth tier of Danish football. So, oh no. Well, they stopped playing last weekend. Well, this is bad news. And the jobs are just insecure, so I think they're gonna remain in their job for now. Do you know what? I'm gonna declare interest for the young boys FD job, see what comes back from that. And if we don't get anything soon, we'll look elsewhere for a job. Probably interviewing a line of people, maybe. Belga wants young boys FD job. Rumors about that Brian Bilger has thrown his hand to the ring for the vacant young boys football development manager's role, and that he would love to take over if offered the job. However, reports suggest that Belger is not considered to have any chance of being offered the job. Very nice to hear. The decision to tell the media of his interest comes across as nothing short of desperate. Fair enough. Belger is currently unemployed following a spell with Vanasbooks FK. Your name was cropped up in connection with that young boys FD job. How do you feel about being linked with a vacancy that has so far proved a struggle to fill? Let's respond. I think it's an interesting proposition for sure. The fact they've not filled the job so far means absolutely nothing at all. I wouldn't be so quick to jump to conclusions as to why they're yet to fill a particular post. They're most likely being very diligent about their search, and I talked to them were they to come my way. I think that's a very good answer. They're going to struggle to find someone to work. No, I don't want to. I want the job. I don't want to criticize the management. Yeah, I wouldn't be quick to jump to conclusion as to why they're yet to fill that particular post. They're most likely being very diligent about their search, and I talk to them were they to come my way. That's a good answer. Maybe that'll inspire them to come my way. I don't really want the job anymore, to be fair, though, because they're out of the relegation zone, out of threat. They have a team which is destined for bigger things in the table. Obviously, it would be fun maybe taking them towards a promotion fight, but realistically, I'd like to first prove myself in a relegation battle. I also think relegation battles are just so much more fun. There's so much more on the line, isn't there? But if they were to offer it to us, we wanted to go into the lowest tier of Danish football, I think I'd still take it. I'd be an idiot not to at this stage. Let's see what the inbox is saying. yeah, with all these jobs being insecure, I don't think they're gonna come up during the winter break they have, and they start football up again in the 18th of February. And as I said, I would very much like to have a transfer window just to make sure that, you know, even if not signing high quality players, because I can't make the set transfer specifically, make sure that we have a player in every position that we need. Is Tony Polster the last? Is there a new Polster? Tony Polster is an Austrian footballing legend, the highest goal scorer of Austrian football, but yeah, his managerial career was in the third tier of Austrian football since always. Let's see what we're seeing in Norway though. Okay, Norwegian third division. They stopped playing in October, so there's probably not going to be much movement there either. So basically just hoping for this one job. So if Denmark doesn't work out, we might go back to Sweden. We might look at other low tiers of football. Wales, even though it's a second tier, but it's a very low level football. It's like amateur football. Or Northern Ireland as well. I think they have 3 tiers, and again, not the highest quality of football. I'd love to see, like, is there not a tracker of how far advanced they are in their talks to hire a new manager? News. Berger wants job. Team of the week announced. Oh. Nothing about that. You know, we're gonna wait until the 1st of December. As in the safe the World Cup must have already kicked off. And if nothing comes back until then, we're gonna widen our scope. What do you say? Can you even afford a plane ticket to those places? Well, no, I have to hitch a ride on a boat or something. I'll just ask him, can we do a job interview in like 2 weeks' time? I should be able to get there in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, it's like a fisher boat. And if they don't want to go all the way, then you know, I'll just jump over to the next one or something. I don't know how far. It can't be that far, right? You know, like from Sweden to Northern Ireland. I'm a good swimmer. I did like a semi triathlon once. I almost drowned on the swimming part though. On the bike and running, I was okay. I was very fast running actually, but swimming I highly underestimated. I didn't have like a wetsuit, and it was like in Vienna in the old Donau towards in September, so it was fairly cold. I highly underestimated what that would do to my circulation. So yeah, maybe not swimming. You know, I could maybe apply to be like a, you know, this guy who work on a deck on like ferry boats. Maybe get over that way. To just disappear off into the night. Job interview, get a warm meal for free, and then if we get the job, perfect. If not, then we'll just stay there. Northern Ireland surely is warmer than North Jutland and Sweden where we are right now, right? Yes, there you go. That's the thing I was scared of by declaring this for the job. Young Boys FD fans laugh of interest from Brian Balgo. A supporter spokesperson has laughed at Brian Balgo's interest in becoming the club's new manager and indicated that the search for the right person to take Young Boys FD forward must continue. They categorically dismiss Brian Balgo's interest in the job, stating that the club should not be considering his application and will instead continue to appraise other candidates for the post. Balgo is currently unemployed following a spell with Valence Books. IF. You always have to mention that, don't you? It really hurts. Okay, just a couple more days, and if we don't hear back from them until Thursday, the 1st of December, we should look elsewhere. To be fair, like plane tickets these days are cheap, aren't they? I can always get to London. There's flights to London for like €6. Or pounds, sorry. I have been laughed at, yeah, and it hurts. My depression is growing deeper, and I think I'm gonna try heroin with the lads now. The lads that I've been hanging out with in my homeless time in North Jutland. I'm getting hungry, to be fair. I want to find a job. Like, I don't mean like in the game, as I'm saying, I want to get a warm meal, but like literally me here sitting. I want to have dinner soon. But I definitely want to have a job going into the next stream. So we're about to arrive on that 1st December, I set as a deadline. Yeah, still no sign of a job interview. One more advance. Maybe my experience with Sweden has skewed my expectations. I thought it'd be easy to find a job, but apparently not. In Sweden, there's nothing like. Probably all the clubs by now have hired a manager, and the season doesn't start back up until like March time. So that's not really a place I feel like I want to go back to. As I always seem to be having problems with the stream. Oh, I think we're okay. Yeah. Okay. 1st of December, we are here. We will now, right now, scope. We will put in Northern Ireland, where there's apparently nothing available. We could put in Iceland, but they also have a summer league. We don't want the summer leagues. Put in Wales. Ooh, there we go. I think we're going to Wales, lads. You haven't been there for long, and they're judging you on 8 games, which is childish if you look at it. That is true, but also I don't have any managerial experience prior to that, and I think it's fair enough if they want to ask for a little bit for their club. Okay, now I think we're going to Wales. What are we saying? 14th and 16th in the Cymru North. Yes, yes, that's looking like a nice challenge. Terrible level of football probably, and 12th and 15th in the Cymru South, which is of course the lowest playable division in Wales. Now again, I know I said about Finland, Northern Ireland, apparently there's no jobs available from what I can see. I think we've activated it. Yeah, Northern Ireland, no jobs available. I know what I said about Finland, that we don't want to go to Finland because they have only 2 divisions, and then you're so close to joining Europe once you get promoted. However, Wales is a bit of a different situation, I think, because they their main teams play in England anyways, and you don't really have it's just amateur teams. I don't know how many places for Europe to have the top 3 places get to qualify for Europe in some capacity. So I think we don't have to worry about that too much, especially if we take over a team highly relegation. What's the schedule saying? So they're like England, they're just playing all the way throughout. Okay, the Southern one apparently doesn't take a break. It's just advanced to the point where I went. Okay, perfect. Hey, let's just apply for these. Can I not apply for multiple? Oh, okay. Wait, I want to sort by nation, please. That's actually sort by division. Okay, 12th in Cymru South, Britain Ferry. Looks a bit boring. No, we want a challenge. Risking obviously to get stuck in the same position as last time, but no risk, no reward. They were predicted to finish 2nd, so they are underperforming. So I understand why they're looking for a manager. Pontardway, which is finished 14th, so it's fair enough that they're down there, but that makes them all the more of a fun challenge. I like a few job experts. Apply for job. And these 2, I think, are both very interesting places to go to. So we will apply for that one. Yes. And we will apply for that one. Maybe the interest gathered by those might push the Danish side to look for us a bit more intensely. Whereas it's a great starting point, Dynamo. Yeah, I think so too. Like from what I saw from the wage budgets that these teams have available, it's also similar like size of club to the one we were in Sweden. However, I think it's a bit more evenly spread throughout the division in Sweden because we were clearly one of the financially weaker teams in that division or on that level because I had job offers of other teams which had like 7, 8 times the amount of money available. Got a few choices, and hopefully they're not going to be scared by the relegation on my resume. And I think at this low level, you should always be able to get a job. Otherwise, you know, to be honest, otherwise, like if SI were to make a game like that where you can't get those jobs, it just would not be enjoyable. But let's see. As we get to also Gals, things happening in Austria, signs a new deal, which is big news for that club because that is one like a fairly big talent. And VSK Tirol is not a big club in Austria. I don't know why he would stay there. But maybe he just likes it. As Valencia is an insecure job, I love those informations. You know, sometimes they give you fair suggestions, but sometimes they just give you those kind of jobs which you're like, I could never, ever, ever get that. Okay, 27 messages in the inbox. What's going on here then? Okay, a lot of coaches stepping down. Is that all in Sweden? I feel like that's all in Sweden. So I guess there would be good jobs to hire on in Sweden. This one we can reset basically. We don't care about that Swedish tier anymore now for the moment. Okay, we also applied for those. Anything? Ooh, a Northern Ireland job has come up. Interesting. So what is this? Okay, it's the third tier of Irish football. There's 3 tiers of Irish football. And there's PSNI at the bottom of it. I love that. Oh, please let's go to Northern Ireland. Semi-professional club. Your job advert. Apply for a job. Please take me. Oh, I'd love that for a challenge. Ooh. One email is probably them having received my it's a police service, is it? Police service for Northern Ireland. Fantastic. Nickname the police. Every step you take, every move you make, every smile you... That was the police, right? Oh, I'm excited again now. Please, let's get that job. You played the police force there? Fantastic. Woo woo, it's not a police. Oh, yes. I want that job. Oh, you got me hyped up with that. Woo woo. That's the sound of the police. Woo woo. It's the sound that I need. This would be so cool. You know, Wales was kind of like, I wasn't too sure about it, but third tier of Northern Irish football is the place to be, I think. Okay, the Young Boys Football Development Board have informed you that the application to fill the vacant manager role has been unsuccessful. Thank you very much for getting back to me so quickly. Despite opting against shortlisting you due to the strength of other candidates, the board would like to place on record that they feel you would have been an acceptable fit for the club's vision for the future. Oh, acceptable! I was saying, I don't need you anymore. I'm going to the police. Not to report on you. It's fine. You treated me okay. Still available though. Should we apply for it again? No. We're not down for that anymore. Okay, no new jobs coming available. I feel like considering the Norwegian league has ended for now, in the Norwegian League season. We'll filter those out. Oh. Imagine that's where the cops go on their free time to play some ball and goof around. Yeah, I guess so. That would have to be it, right? It's just like a workplace team. I don't know how much that limits our options then to sign players. I don't know if they have like a club vision of, you know, sign players to a policeman. I think the game can do that. But don't really care. It would be a fun challenge. What was that? That was always the story of this season's Champions League. The manager of Club Brugge, wasn't it? Who used to who like he ended his footballing career in Gibraltar, and it was like the fun fact they said every Champions League match day, because obviously Club Brugge did so well in the Champions League this season, finishing second in the group, but they played the first 4 games, won 3 of them against like Atletico Madrid, Porto, and Bayer Leverkusen without conceding a goal. So they were like the big story of the Champions League for a time. And their manager ended his playing career in Gibraltar and then started managing there. And he managed like firemen, you know, like the fire department's team. And you know, then eventually he said, I want to go back to my native Belgium and you know, kill it there. Let's have a look at it. It's Van Hazelbroek, something like that. No, it's all fun. Okay. Club Brugge. I did my beta save with them. It was a lot of fun trying to get them forward in the Champions League. There's that. Don't know how I spell it. Club Brugge. Club Brugge. Karl Hofkens. Van Hazelbroek was someone else, wasn't it? Yeah, so he ended his playing career at Manchester 62 SC in Gibraltar. Then managed there as well. He got 23 caps for Belgium. I didn't know that. And then eventually he figured, you know, it's not fun managing firemen. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what, yeah, I understand why they always kept on reciting that story. That is a cool story. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna manage the police department in Northern Ireland, and then we'll go back to our native Austria and take over Red Bull Salzburg, something like that. Maybe a couple of steps in between, because we don't quite have the pedigree of having 23 caps for Austria. Okay, we've been offered the job. If we were going to attend all these interviews, we're going to go there. And we're going to see if we get a job in the beautiful country of Wales available. But we're obviously going to kind of delay if they offer us the job until we see if we get the police department job in Northern Ireland, because I would love it. So, roofing job. They are 14th in the Simru North. They were expected before the season to finish 6th. So they're highly underperforming. But they do, to me, seem like the least entertaining challenge of all of them, which is, you know, it seems like the easiest challenge to be honest. And welcome everybody. We're glad you've come along to discuss our plans for the club's division, and should we decide, yeah, I'm going to be positive. I'm glad. Only have one choice. I'm glad you've given me a chance to talk to the club. Let's get down to business. Can you ease our concerns about your lack of experience? I don't know if the experience other managers have, but I do have a good track record so far. I would argue that, yeah. You've already been relegated once during a brief managerial career. Okay, you have to throw that at me. Thank you very much. Can you explain the circumstances surrounding that? We all knew we were in for a rough season that year, and unfortunately we weren't able to stay up. As simple as. What is your reasoning behind dropping down to this level from your much bigger previous job? Is it? I wasn't aware that it was much bigger. I'm keen to take on a new challenge with fresh experience, and I've always wanted to work at a club like this. I've never really enjoyed working at bigger clubs. No, that's just not true. Okay, ask for a chance. I'm keen to take on a new challenge. You're up for a few jobs right now. Are you hedging your bets? The jobs are vacant. I think it's fair to explore those options. Yeah, I'm desperate for food and housing, my friend. Right now, that's nobody else's business but mine. I'm doing whatever I can to keep progressing. Are you willing to assure us that you'd do a better job of meeting expectations than your potential predecessor did? I say I've got a good record when it comes to meeting expectations. I've always been more about the process than the result. Yeah, so I'll always back myself to succeed. We have to succeed anyway if we take the job. Can you tell me why you're the right candidate for the team fighting relegation? Uh, I have the motivating ability. Yeah, I've got 5 motivating. Of course, I have the motivating ability. That's what you need. Would you be able to take charge straight away or later date? I'm happy to take charge immediately. I can't wait to start. Yeah, no, I don't want to like stay on the streets waiting for the season to end. What sorts of changes are you anticipating making to the backroom staff here? I'm happy to work with the backroom staff that are already here. Let the backroom staff take care of themselves, honestly. Sign players under the age of 23 for fasting. Interesting, interesting. Work within a wage budget, grow the club's reputation. Finish in the... Okay, no expectation for the end of current season, and next season finish in the top 4 places. That is high expectations, but I think it's pretty acceptable. We're aiming to avoid relegation. Is that something you think is attainable? Can you take us further? I think we could finish mid-table. I think they like it if I'm a bit ambitious, and I think we should be with this team. You know, particularly to finish 6th, they're not too far away from getting out of the relegation zone, so they get 14th. So I think we'll be fine. Would a proposed wage budget of £250 euros per week be suitable, or should you get the job? Yes! Yes, that would. That's about 6 times the amount I had in my last job, but you said it's a much bigger job. I agree. If you're happy to work with the proposed wage budget, should I get the role? Because I don't want to say that I want less, because then we might be overspending on the budget and I need to sell players. We don't want to do that. It's a big enough budget to attract the quality of player required to the club. Do you have anything to request? Consider should we decide to hire you? And not that I can think of. Not really in a position to make requests. I just want a job, please. See if anyone else comes back with a job interview offer. Now, as in, not all interviews are going to take this long. It's just the first one that I get back into what I want to say to them. The next ones we can just click through a bit faster. I want to get out of the streets, please. Please, just give me shelter. I don't care how your club does. I just want, you know, some money. Buy myself, I don't know, frozen pizza. I haven't seen pizza in ages. That damn homeless shelter. It's just... I don't know what. I don't want to hate on them. Okay, Malmo are doing things. Prestaten job offer. Okay, they are 16th in Zero North. What a challenge they would be. Far down the table. What's the predictions? 8th. Okay, okay. Wow, quite interesting. So we should have a realistic chance of making up that gap, but it's not going to be a given. Okay, glad Club Visions should we decide to hire. I'm glad to meet you. You have very little managerial experience. Can you explain what it is? I may not have much experience, but I have done well in my limited time in management. Can you explain why you're willing to take a drop down to a club of our level? I'm looking for food. No, that's not an option. I'm looking for a new challenge. Planning only 2. Can you explain why you appear to be running for a few jobs right now? I'm doing whatever I can to keep progressing. I will have to assure that you do a better job of maintaining a good dressing room atmosphere than the previous match. I'm good with dressing rooms. Yes, I promise you that I ensure a strong and positive dressing room atmosphere here. Our previous manager didn't enjoy the best of relationship with the supporters. Are you confident of providing a different dynamic with them? To my knowledge, I've never been disliked by a strong section of any support. That bodes well for me here, except for the, young club, whatever we applied for in Denmark, who laughed at my interest. We don't want to repeat of our last manager, who we had to part company with added and expenses. Are you going to be around for a while? I don't know. Probably not. I have a proven track record of spending considerable time in a job. I've never once in my career departed after only a brief spell at the club. Not true. I've been sacked after 8 weeks. I'm not concerned about who did what and when. I focus only on myself. There is no tomorrow. Everyone has to win today, and that's my motto, kind of. If I came here, I'd want to stay for a long time. I'm not concerned about who did what and when. I focus only on myself. That's what I say. Why are you great manager for a team expected to struggle against relegation that has been stuck in relegation zone all season? Strong motivator. Would you find motivating? Would you be able to take charge straight away or at a later date? Happy to take charge immediately. Get me off the streets. Part of the recruitment process, we are willing to allow you to request changes to our current backroom staff, as well as the chance to request any staff members you would like to bring from your previous club. What size budget would you be looking to make these changes? That's very nice of you, but I'd rather leave the backroom staff to you. I hope we get the police force interview. I do too. I love it. I'd require a small budget to allow me to make some modification before taking charge. I don't wish to force any change in advance of taking on the role, so no budget will be required. Yes, that's what I'll say. No changes. Long-term vision. Strive to make progress on off the pitch. Work on a roof and wage budget. Grow the club's reputation. Nothing for this season, and then attempt to avoid relegation going forward. That should be very achievable with the media prediction having been 8th. They've just been in a bad run of form. Yeah, we should expect you to fight against relegation. I would agree. I would be able to meet the expectation of trying to battle against relegation. I think we could aim a little higher and avoid relegation, because if we do get relegated, no matter what I promised them here, we're going to get sacked, because there's no lower division to play in Wales. With a proposed wage budget of £52 a week be sufficient to get the job. Did I not have like 1,500 or 200 or something at the other job at a similar level? This is tricky. I just agree with him because I need a job first and foremost. I'm not gonna ask for any other favors because just, you know, please give me money. Okay, so we applied for one other job in Wales, and then obviously the police force sitting bottom of the 3rd division of Northern Ireland. A job that I would love. Yeah, 1.2 thousand the other one. I had, didn't I? 1.2 thousand pounds per week in the other job interview we had. In our job in Sweden, we had like 140 or 50 or something like that. I earned like 3 times the amount of what we paid our entire playing staff, which was kind of mad. Very good for me. We have it! We have the job interview! Let's go! So a quick look what the job center says, if anything happened. Nothing happened, and the club in the 3rd division of Sweden has also gone. Let's just see real quick who they gave it to, who they thought a better fit than me. Before we get into this exciting job interview. It's Peter Enevoldsen, who before was manager of Frederikshavn, who are outside of the playable leagues in Denmark. And other than being Danish, he doesn't really have any better pedigree than me, so all I would argue to that is they're racist. Yeah, there you go. My club is called Middelfart. Sorry, getting sidetracked. He's better stats than me. Yeah, I know he does. He's a way better manager than me so far in this, this version of reality. Doesn't matter. We're gonna get the PSNI job in Northern Ireland. Hopefully, Police Service of Northern Ireland. That's where we're gonna be interviewing for. Let's see. Current manager is Kyle McDowell on a caretaker role after being a coach at the club for 7 years. He's got 17 level of discipline. It's kind of what you'd expect from the police department, guys. Okay, very well. Let us get into the interview. Welcome, Brian. We're glad you've come along to discuss our plans with the club's vision should we decide to hire you. It's great to be here. Let us get started. You have very little managerial experience, and that is obviously concerns me a little. Can you explain why that is? I say I don't have the experience other managers have, but I do have a good track record so far, because we did well. Even though we got relegated, we improved the team a lot. You've already been relegated once. Can you explain the circumstances surrounding that? We all knew we were in for a rough season that year, and unfortunately, we weren't able to stay up. I hope they consider that a good answer. I don't know. What is your reasoning behind dropping down to this level from your much bigger previous job? Why did they all think Vannersburg was such a big job? I don't quite understand that. Maybe it's just because they all have a half-star reputation. They had like a 1-star, 1.5-star reputation. I'm keen to take on a new challenge with a fresh experience, and I've always wanted to work at a club like this. I never knew it before today, but yes, I always wanted to work at a club like this. You're up for a few jobs right now. Are you hedging your bets? I'm just trying to forge ahead with my career by any means necessary. The club would be looking for a candidate capable of performing to competition expectations, something our last manager did not do. Are you confident of handling better than your predecessor, potential predecessor? No, it always says predecessor. They're going to hire me. It's confirmed. It says, would you do better than your predecessor? Does the would imply that I'm not necessarily the predecessor? I don't know. I'm confident of achieving every target set for me if I get the job. What makes you the ideal candidate to save a club unexpectedly struggling against relegation and currently on its worst run of the series? Motivating? Okay, so they want us to finish mid-table, but they were predicted to finish 12th, weren't they? Okay, that seems perfectly acceptable to me. If given a job, I would be able to meet the expectation and avoid relegation. Yeah, I don't think we should push for more than that yet. I would like to give us a better chance of getting the job, but I don't think we should. How does a wage budget of around €0 sound to you? Hey man, that's fine. That's perfect. Actually, I wouldn't require such a large wage budget for points, and I can meet the proposed expectation using a much smaller sum of money, because you can't give me a minus budget, and that should help me get better chances of getting a job. Is there anything you would like to ask for ahead of potentially getting a job? Not that I can think of. Thank you very much. Okay, that actually makes me very comfortable that we'll be able to get this job, because we promised him the heavens of needing less money than he proposed, and normally clubs love that. They love that because they can't give me less money than 0. Surely not. They can't expect me to expect my players to pay me for playing them. We can go into the negative mode. My trying to do is, so I have to convince the players to pay me so that they can play for every week. Yeah, maybe there's a possibility for that. I've never seen it before. Oh, that is fantastic. Like, obviously it's not cool that we are taking a job where we have zero money to spend on wages. So I'm guessing it's an amateur team. I didn't even look at that. But it should help us, really. And the guys playing there, they're getting paid by the police anyways. They might as well come and play football. Maybe I have to pay my own wages. Wait, what did I say? Okay, I thought that said something about us being rejected. A lot of goings on, a lot of sackings, but nothing new on our job front. No new jobs available. Sprit and Ferry are moving up the table. Oh, please, I want the police department's job. Okay, the 2 jobs we had a job interview for in Wales have offered us the job, but we don't really care for them. It's £1,300 a week wage budget, £140 a week, £150 a week at the other club though, so £10 more for us, and a £50 a week wage budget. So they clearly have different priorities. I'm not gonna even have a closer look at this. I'm gonna delay until I have my final answer from the police department, because I don't care what exactly they offer us, as long as they offer us, I don't know, £2 a week to manage them and give us the job. I am buzzing. Obviously, we can just sleep in a prison cell in the police department. Like, we don't need an apartment or whatever. You reject the lower wage one. You mean the wage for me, or the wage budget for the team? I mean, if we want to progress, obviously we take the one with the higher wage budget for the team. We should, because it's like, what is, how much do you need to multiply 50 by to get 1,200? To 20, yeah, 24 times the monthly wage budget. I feel like you're right. I feel like that's worth it going there. Gives us a bit more possibilities as a manager. £140 a week to live in Wales though. I think Wales is pretty expensive, isn't it? Like, I mean, not like mad expensive, but like, €600 a month. I don't know what that means in your British freedom pound unit, whatever. I don't think that would be enough. Yes, we got it. We got the job offer of police station Northern Ireland department. Yes. Come on. They're paying us £325 a week. What do you mean? You could have offered me nothing. I would have come. Let's go. Oh, no hesitations. We're going there. They want us to be competitive in the Cups. Perfect. Okay, we'll be there. We'll play. We're not going to give up on the game and avoid relegation from the LOF 41 PIL. What does that stand for? Premier Intermediate League. What is that? What kind of title is that? What is a Premier Intermediate League? Wait, what happened here? They've gone on a mad run. They were bottom of the table when we applied for the job. They've won the last 2 matches, and all of a sudden they're sitting 5th. I mean, we're still taking it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We are taking it. They're predicted to finish bottom of the table, but what happened here? So, Love 41 champion. What is Love 41, by the way? What is that? Is that a sponsor? What does that mean? Let's have a look. Love 41. Who are we? Who is Love 41? It's a destination food village located in the stunning shore entry. What? This can't be your sponsor. What is going on in Northern Ireland? Okay, Love 41 accepting close, that's fine. They announced as new championship and PIL sponsor. Premier Intermediate League is PIL, as we've learned. I'm delighted to announce as the new title, Love 41 is the new title sponsor of the championship. Love 41 are a new all-inclusive food market based at the Loughshire Park in Antrim, which includes some well-known outlets such as Boathouse and Maryland. I love Northern Ireland. What is happening? Some food market is sponsoring the 2nd and 3rd tier of this nation. This is fantastic. Oh. Wait, did I not click accept yet? What am I waiting for? Start negotiations. Okay, they're just offering you a 6-month contract. Yeah, it's just a local food market. Okay, I'm happy to take €300 a week if you give me an extra year. Okay, very acceptable terms. That's good. Job security, primary, because like even if we are less, we're desperate to earn some money now, but we don't want it to end like in Sweden. Finalized deal. We have dropped in wage, by the way, in terms of compared to Sweden. We got a £450 per week, euros per week. We were earning there. As they have offered us the job, and the job offer has been accepted, so all we need to do is advance 1 time, and we're gonna have just a real quick browse around the club. I'm gonna save here though. Just to PSNI. Just to maybe if we want to start next stream around here as well, because it's just a nice screen to get into things with. So PSNI have today confirmed the appointment of Brian Belger as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the 24-year-old, who recently spent time away from club football. I mean, I've been gone for 2 months, desperately looking for jobs, so really not that much. As he's sure to have plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at the Dub. The stadium is called the Dub. So they got so many dubs there. My God, I'm loving this. I have no idea how a Northern Irish accent goes. I have to practice that. I don't know. Was that Scottish? I don't even know the different accents. I'm Austrian. Please forgive me. His first game in charge will be against Armagh in the Love 41 PIL on the 17th of December. He replaced previous manager Glenn Taggart. Paul Traynor was considered to be the favourite for the job, particularly after he was spotted attending an interview with the club, but they ultimately preferred a different candidate. Doug rejected the offers from Presterton Town and Ruthin Town. Sorry, Wales. Sorry, I'm not going to be seeing you. Belger struggled at Vannersburg of Kane, was eventually sacked, and will now be hoping for a better experience upon taking the PSNI post. Following PSNI's 2-1 Love 41 Premier Intermediate League victory over Bangor, Bangor side are currently 5th in the Love 41 PIL with 13 points from 11 matches. Police Service of Northern Ireland have won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1 of their last 5 matches. Very good. Let's keep going then. The chairperson says, congratulations for winning the job. We'll discuss the club's vision and objectives shortly, but first and foremost, please take some time to read the club's welcome pack. Yes, I will. So, Director of Football positions vacant. Assistant manager is Terence O'Hara. Oh, we'll have a look at him in another time. I love the logo. Oh no, it's a fire logo, to be fair. Is that like a police department logo somewhere here of Northern Ireland? I don't know. But look at that. Big fan. The green and the black and green stripes on the shirt, founded in 1956. The dub is the 2,000 capacity, built in 2021. Amazing. Okay, we've been knocked out of the Steel and Sons Cup and the Dat McLean Cup. I love these sponsorships. We've been knocked out of the Northern Irish Cup, and the Intermediate Cup is still going on. We're currently in the third round. Okay, new good training facilities, basic facilities, no youth recruitment. That's fine. Apparently, we have a wage budget of £179 per week, euros per week. This team is pure vibes. It absolutely is. Ah, thanks for the follow, Hassan. I just saw that. Okay, so club history. We've won the TotalSpet.com Steels and Sun Cup once. Fantastic. And the McCombs Coach Travel Intermediate Cup 4 times. Yeah, let's keep going at that. But that was the success story was in the 80s. The police have a history with which they can justly be proud. Finished runners-up in the Northern Irish 30 in 2014-16. So, good successes recently. Let's see what they say for the team. So they're suggesting a 4-3-3, which is nice. We played a similar thing for a while in Sweden, and then decided to sack that off completely. Hot prospects changed massively. Key players and Alex Ferguson. And we have a fairly ambitious squad personality. No transfer obligation, no current loans. Work within the wage budget. Be competitive in the cups and avoid relegation in the league. Okay, very well. Continue to avoid relegation in the next few years. Should be easy now that we're sitting in 5th, but the gap to the relegation spot is very close. Our supporters liaison officer has asked for you to be provided with the details of the club's supporter culture and expectations, so they don't expect anything other than not to get, or hope not to get relegated. Schedule a press conference to meet the media. Of course, we love the media. We'll meet every fortnight with the backroom staff. Thank you for remembering that. So hired as a manager. This is contract stuff. We'll take our time. So we've got a 9% hardcore fan base. I love that. I've got 476 social media followers. Support influence on the board is very low, so they don't really matter. Season ticket holders of 30. We've got 28% core fan group, then 29% is like, just family of the people working in police. 8% Fairweather fans, 1% corporate fans. It's just like the bosses from politics having to pop by every couple of months, and 25% casual fans. Season expectations. Okay, so we're currently overspending our wage budget following what I said. When is that starting? Lurgan Town. I don't know what all of this means. Oh, we're at the stage of the third round. Reach first round. Reach third round. We're already there, aren't we? Doesn't make any difference to our wage budget, though. Okay, we'll keep it at that then. Tactical direction required. Well, first have a look at the team. For the tactic around the team. This team is huge. Don't tell me we have a reserve squad. Oh my god, we have so many players. How many players do we have? We had like a squad of 19 people in Sweden. 29 people. Wonderful. Squad planner. We need to set up a tactics first. That's fine. Ooh, the atmosphere is pretty good. Managerial support is very poor. That's okay. We'll turn it around. I'm sure of it. As there's a lot of cups going on in Northern Ireland. 11 games in, 13 points. I have no idea why the previous manager was sacked now that I think about it, actually. He wasn't doing that badly. Glenn Taggart, after almost 3 years in charge, he's been sacked. He was a player in Carrick in Northern Ireland, I guess, and then took over the police department. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. No, I have no idea. Very well. Let's have a look at a quick look at the schedule. How congested is it? It's okay. We've got like a game a week. Very good. We have what would be 11 games left in the league, so we're joining exactly halfway through. And then, what are the rules saying? There's a group. So wait, championship group, relegation. What is this saying? So we have 27 games. League splits in two after 22 games, and the championship group plays 5 games. Okay, well, it's fairly standard groups after the 22 games. The league splits, and we've got another 5 games after that. I was like expecting like 15 players there. Lord. Yeah, me too. I was really surprised at how big this team is. Staff is looking okay too. Our like coaching staff. We'll see what the backroom staff does in terms of improving the recruitment team and medical team. Our physio, I think, is pretty terrible. 5 physiotherapy. 19 years old though. Maybe he still improves, but I'm not sure where he got his license. Okay, I think we don't really have anything interesting to look at for now, other than players. Let's see, rivalries. Queen's University. Oh, they're in our league. Fantastic! Donegal Celtic. No idea where they're playing. Lurgan Celtic. Okay, so it's just Queen's University who sit directly above us in the league as well. Ooh, could be spicy affairs there. Is there anything else to note about this team? Our reserve code is called PSNI Olympic. Love it. I love this team. Owner status loves the club. Perfect. Facilities. Good basic. Okay, nothing special. The Dub. I'm so happy that we're playing in a stadium called The Dub. Oh, Queen's University are playing here too. Okay, Queen's Grade. Is that the B team of Queen's University? Okay, so we're sharing a stadium with our big rivals. We've got no affiliates. That's okay. Recent history, we've been relegated off of the championship just recently, so not bad. Wow, 4th in the championship, the 2nd tier of Irish football they finished in. Dizzy heights. But we're considered as semi-professional, not amateur, as I feared after the €0 wage budget. Okay, let's start having a quick look at the team and then we'll end the stream because, as I said, I'm hungry. Stat bought the license law of the physiotherapist. Probably, or maybe he threatened someone that he would arrest his daughter, something like that. If he was at the police department. Okay, let's have a look. Who's our captain? William Worry, Mr. W. 36-year-old central defender, 14 jumping reach. Can't have. Too bad. 13 leadership, 13 determination, 13 tackling. A lot of 13s. Works hard, decent defender. You know, he's one of those old dudes who just sitting at the back. And his second stint at the club. Yeah, don't mind having him around. He's here on an amateur contract. It's just not really happy with me being here, so that's fine as a captain. He'll play a bit for us, I guess, as well with the 3-star accountability rating. Tony Tamalti is our vice captain, and I don't understand why. He's just old. Is that all he has to offer? He's been at the club for 5 years. Scoring a goal every 3 games in that time span. That was pretty decent, actually. Doesn't have anything to offer other than being 30 years old and making good decisions and having good composure. He doesn't have any tons of physicals to get into the positions to score goals. But we'll see. I'm sure he'll play sometimes. And then let's have a look at our hot prospect first. JB Massey. Oh, he's a game-generated player already. He's a goalkeeper. 16-year-old goalkeeper. I don't know why I'm so excited about that. He's captain under 18s level. We might have a future Northern Ireland international here at the police department. €1 per week he's getting paid. Agreed to sign a contract in January. I hope that's not going to be like amateur, but I also hope that's not going to be a high-paid one. But yeah, he's okay. So yeah, main goalkeeper. He's set as breakthrough prospect. We'll see. 3-star accountability, 5-star potential. Very, very nice. And now our key player is not actually Alex Ferguson. It's Andrew Ferguson. Sorry, I got that wrong before. Let's see what he has to offer. So 4.5-star accountability, 33 years old, central defender. He can't really defend. I love lower league management. It's so random sometimes. He's supposed to be our best player, and he's kind of a good player, but He's got 5 marking and 4 positioning. He's got like the mental stats no one at this level other than him has. I don't. Like, he'll be fine, I think, because of his mental stats. But 5 marking and 4 positioning as a centre back. I don't get it. But 12 jumping reach, 12 strength, 11 heading, 14 aggression, and 15 bravery. He'll be a threat from set pieces and good at heading clear balls. Set as a fringe player, which I don't understand. But maybe we do actually have a couple of better players around. He's a player/coach on a non-contract. So very interesting to see what he'll have to offer. Okay, let's just have a very quick look at like the best players according to our coaching staff before we should end it. We're just gonna have a look at these top 3 ones, I think. See if there's anything else that springs out to us outside of that. So we had a look at Andrew Ferguson. Let's have a look at Johnny Wilson. I love it. His name is like, you know, 2 synonyms for Johnny, Willie, whatever. He's a Mazzala, obviously, because every centre midfielder who's got a bit of a fast touch at this level is a Mazzala. Where? He got a lot of pace. I would have parked him out on the wing, but he's a 26-year-old who's always been playing through the centre, so maybe not necessarily. He's got good leadership. He's Irish, not even from Northern Ireland. Maybe he's a better right back. You mean the centre back, or you mean Mr. Johnny Wilson? So Johnny Wilson could be a good right back. Although with 6 marking, 5 positioning, 5 concentration, and 3 tackling, I think you're talking about the other guy. Maybe, but he wasn't that good on the ball, to be honest. But we'll figure it out. He's got 13 stamina. You run for days. Fantastic. And he's said as a star player. He's on an amateur contract. It's very nice to have these players on an amateur contract. Who's earning all the money then, though? And Craig Bears is set to be a 4-star player in that right back spot. 1 crossing as a right back gives me chills. Not in a positive sense. But you know, that's just what you have to expect, I guess. It's not going to have anyone's good at going forward in the right back slot. He's got a lot of pace. I like it. So maybe he will be going forward, but he's not going to swing any crossing, hopefully. 15 determination, love seeing that. 26 years old. Important player status. Also amateur contract. Okay, let's see, is there anything else we can point out here? So there's a couple player with 5-star potential, but they're at an age and current ability level where I don't think that they'll ever reach that. I don't really see anything major. We've got a right-hand-sided midfielder who's set to be, his best role is set to be a wide target for. We have to have a look at it. Lukasz Adamczyk. Is he Polish? He's Polish. 39-year-old Polish player. Okay, he's also mainly a striker, which is why the target forward thing makes a bit more sense. But he can play down the right-hand side as a wide target forward, which I love. 8 crossing as well. I think we might just play him out there. He's got that 16 strength and 14 jumping. He's a very effective player at this level, I think. Just put him on refrain from crossing. Yeah, I will do that with the right back, for sure. My God, I love him. He's also on an amateur contract. Who's getting all the money here? Yeah, he's been around for a while now in Northern Ireland. He's also the 2nd stint for the club. Spent 9 years here previously. Oh, I'm excited to play with him. We've got Mr. Mark Whitford injured. How long has he been out for? Should gash lower legs. 5 days. Okay, so it's just nothing major. And he's just a box standard left back, I'd say. Is there any other interesting thing to point out? Another Mazzala, an advanced playmaker. Ooh, that's a fancy role for this level. So he's 22 years old and has 1.5 the current ability. So I guess not much to write home about. Very well. Then I just want to find out, before we leave it here, I want to find out where all our money is going. So we've got 3 players on part-time contracts, and basically all the money is going down. We're paying him 60, that's 120, 165 of our 179 euros of wage budget goes towards these 3 players. Mark Whitford is the injured left back, who's still got a contract until the end of next year. So could end up being a problem for us, the money we're spending on him. But he's an okay player, so there's no reason to push him out the door too much, I guess. Tom Hegan is also returning from injury. Is our first choice goalkeeper, is earning a lot of money and seems to have lesser current ability than the young talents. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I'll have to have a closer look at their stats. But 60 euros for a player who's not really necessarily in our better players. 15 eccentricity. I love that though. I'd love to see what he's gonna do on the pitch. I'm sure he's gonna pull out some crazy stuff. And then finally we have Christopher Watts, who's a fringe player, 60 euros a week. 28-year-old poacher forward. I actually like him. I think we're still going to keep him around despite earning all that money. 12 acceleration, 12 agility, 12 pace. Off the ball could be better, 9 finishing. I think he will score some goals for us. He's already done so. 3 goals in 11 games so far. All of them this season. 3 goals in 1 start and 6 appearances off the bench. That is really good. So he might just force himself into the squad. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it for today. It's been a blast. And I'm so happy that we've been taking a police service of Northern Ireland to take them forward, nicknamed the police, and hopefully we're going to have a good time with that. We will come back on Sunday with the start of our World Cup boycott streams, trying to stream at basically every World Cup game simultaneously to that, to give people who don't want to watch it an alternative. Anyone who does want to watch it, as I said, have a good time, enjoy the games. It's not all your responsibility to fix this. And yeah, hopefully we can get them promoted. That's a fair shout. Like, maybe not this season because we're a bit far away, but we should be comfortable this season, and hopefully next season we can push them forward. I'm really excited for it. I hope I'll see you, sometimes in the future. Hassan, thank you for spending the time with me here today. Since we only have one current viewer, I will not go and raid somebody. I'll leave it up to you, wherever you want to go. And I look forward to the next time I'll see you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.